Dear student, just wait for 5 more minutes. Ma'am is joining.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Kavalpreet. I'm with you for taking your subject of PPL, that is Principle of Programming Language, right? So let's start with the today's lecture. So as you know, we were doing the conditional statements. What we were doing? The conditional statement like if, else, right? Right? So let me open the PPT. I'm sharing the PPT with you, then we'll start it. Wait a second. Then, yeah. And then we have a chapter 7. Yes. So as we have a so I'm just explaining it. Just hold on. Good evening to all. I'm sharing PPT. Chapter 6. So I hope my PPT is visible to everyone. This chapter we have already started. Good evening, Bhumin. Good evening, Rahul. Smarth, Divesh. Good evening. So as you can see that we have done this topic also, right? This we have already done. Just tell me where we have left it, the topic. I've already explained these all the terms to you. I think we were on this topic, iteration. No, this also I have explained to you, right? Okay, Bhumin, just tell me, this topic we have done now already? Bhumin? Okay, thanks, Bhumin, for your reply. So, okay, this unit we have already finished it. So, I'm starting with the unit 7. So, unit 7, this is unit 7, right? Okay. Yes, the chapter unit 7 is your loops and exception handling. So, in this, we will learn what are loops, some application of loops, types of loops, entry control loops, exit control loops. Now, for loop, while loop, do while loop, break statement, and continue statement. And then we will, in the last, we will learn about the exception handling, right? So, what is the learning objective of this unit? We will understand the fundamental concept of the loops and their use in the programming, how we are using it in the programming. Then we have various types of loops, for, while, do, while, and nested loops we have. Then we will identify and handle the different types of exceptions, like we have a runtime errors, syntax errors, and logical errors, right? Then we have try catch block, that is your exception. How the exception has come means the error has arrived or error has come in the program, how it is to be handled. So different catch blocks we are having for catching the exceptions. So come to the introduction. So loops and exception handling are the two fundamental concepts in programming that play a very critical role in for creating an efficient and error-free program. So loops and exception handling are the two fundamental concepts we have. Then loops are used to execute a set of instruction. What are loops? Loops are used to execute a set of instructions repeatedly, right? Then making them a powerful tool for automating the repetitive tasks. So loops and these are the very important concept, loops and exception handling for error-free programs, right? And loops are repeatedly, because loops are repeatedly. Like if I'm uh, mentioning the loop that while I less than 10, so loop will go up to I initial value is 1. So loop will go 1 to 9. Okay. So this is automating the repetitive task. Third, exception handling is used to detect and recover the errors. Exception are the what errors, and to handle them, that is a recovery of the error. Okay. So during program execution, and exception handling is very essential for the robust, those programs are robust and they can recover from the error and from the crashes. So that for that we are using exception handling, right? Now, first is first topic we have a loops. A loop is a control structure that allow a program to execute a set of instruction repeatedly. Loop is a control structure that allow a program to execute a set of instruction repeatedly until a particular condition is met, right? A loop is a control structure. This, all control structure we have, like if else, nested if else. Same, we have a loop is also a control structure that is used for the repeatedly. Those instruction you want to execute it many number of times. Repeatedly का मतलब क्या है? That to execute it many number of times. So for that we are using loop until the particular condition is met. So what is the purpose of the loop? To reduce the code redundancy, so that the code duplicacy, you can say, or redundancy will be removed, and that will execute a block of code multiple times with different data or input values. So there we have a different several types of loops in the programming language we have, including the for loop, while loop, and do while loop, right? Yes. So this we have a types of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop, right? So each type of loop differs in how it is executed. Each type of loop, they are different in their execution. So what condition it checks before running the code block? So they provide programmers with the ability to automate the repetitive tasks, make the program more efficient, and reduce the amount of code required to perform a specific type, right? So each type of loop, that is differing it. So that is differ how it is to be executed, at what condition it checks before running the code block. So programmer with the ability to automate the repetitive task, This is, so every time the type of loops are executing, they are checking the condition, and then only that particular block of code will be executing it. So this is the ability to automate the repetitive task, and that makes the program efficient and reduce the amount of code that requires a specific task. So by using loops, programmers can create more complex and sophisticated programs that can perform a repetitive task, right? So by using of loops, yes, more complex program will be easily be performed by using of repetitive tasks. So let's discuss the situation. We want to print hello 5 times. So here is the program of a simple C program. So we are including the header file here, standard input output. Then we have a main function. Then we are writing a 5 times hello message by using of printf function. So this, you know that in C how you are writing, how you are printing the output by using of printf function. Na? So when the above program is executed, it produced the following result. It was simple, but again, let us consider another situation. It was simple, but again, let us consider another situation when you want to write hello word 1,000 times. We want to print a hello 1,000 times. So we can certainly not write printf statement 1,000 times. So we for 5 or 6 or 7, if we want to print things 6, 7. So for print, we need to check. So just a second. So as you know, the five, this is able that we can write down the 5 times, we can write down the printf statement, but it's very difficult to take a to write down the 1,000 number of times the printf statement, or to write a, if we want to print like for five times, so it is okay, we can make it in the C program. But if we want to type it for the 1,000 number of times, then it will be a difficult task. So for that purpose, we are using the loop. So now you got it that for what purpose we are using it. So we can certainly not write printf statement 1,000 times. All programming language provide a concept called loop, which helps in executing one or more statement up to the desired number of times, right? So all high level programming language provide a various form of loops, which can be execute one or more statements repeatedly. So all high level languages like C, C++, they all are using the loops if they want to execute the number of statements repeatedly. Is this clear to you? We use loops for reducing the code lines. Yeah, right. For those tasks you want to do repeatedly, so that can be reduced with the help of loops. Now let's see the C program with the while loop we are having. So we will discuss how this loop works. So we have same header file we need to include it. Then the main function will be started. Int I is equal to 0. What does it mean? Means we have initialized the I variable that is of integer type, and we have initialized with the I variable with the 0 value, right? Then we have a loop, while loop we are using. There we are putting in the bracket, we are giving a condition here, I is less than 5. And then with the curly braces, it's the loop will start. Then we have a block of code. In the curly braces, always we are writing the statement that you want to execute it repeatedly, or many number of times you want to repeat it. So like here, I want to print a hello world message, and this /n is the escape character that every time when it will print the hello word, that is always be printed in the new line, right? And then we are writing I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1 means every time we are incrementing, every time we are printing the hello world message, right? So above program makes use of the, this bracket is close of this, that we have started it. and then this main curly braces is for the main function, after the main function that you have started, that you need to close it in the end of the program. Okay, so the mistake is there. Printf statement should be end with the semicolon also. So semicolon is missing here. So this is the error here. Here the semicolon will come because every statement ends with the semicolon. So the above program make use of a while loop, which is being used to execute a set of programming statement enclosed within this. Okay, so the computer first check whether the given condition, that is variable a, is less than 5 or not. If it finds the condition is true, then the loop body is entered to execute the given statement. Here we have following two statement in the loop body. First, the statement is printf statement, which prints hello world. Second statement is I is equal to I plus 1, which is used to increase the value of a variable I. I की value को every time if we want to increment it, so for that you are using this statement I is equal to I plus 1. इसको आप I plus plus भी लिख सकते हो बेटा. You can write I plus plus also in the place of I is equal to I plus 1. Is this clear? Is this clear to everyone? Okay, Bhumin, thanks for your valuable feedback, beta. Yes, Pavan, what you want to say? Okay, you are just sending your very good, Smartha. Now, see this flow chart. Okay, okay, Kushbu. Now, see this flow chart. Here we have a if condition is true. So here we have a condition. If condition is false, then we will go to the else part. If condition is true, then again sorry, if the condition is true, then here the condition code will execute it, the block of code will execute it, and then it will go for the condition again for the checking of the condition, right? Is this clear? If this condition is false, then the loop will come out, okay, from the loop. If condition is true, then the conditional block of code will execute. जो condition के बाद what the block of code, the statement is there, that will execute, and then again after executing, once we have checked the condition is true, then it will check for the second, then it will check for the third. As per the condition, it will move as many times the condition is true, as many times the block of code will execute it. If condition is false, then the loop will come out of the loop. Now, what is some application? The application means the use of loops, where we are using it. So for iterating over the collections, so if we want to iterate over elements in a collection such as array, list, and or dictionaries, this allow you to process each element in the collection without having to write the same code for each element individually, right? So if you want to, in the collection we have 10 elements, so and we want to process each element individually, so for that what we need to write down, so each element in the collection without having to write the same code for each element individually. So you need not to write down the individually for in the collection for every element. You just make it a loop. For that you have made a array of variable name a, and that is a, so how many collection of elements we have? That we have a 10 elements we are having. Performing calculations. Loop can be used to perform calculation or the operation a specific number of times. For example, you can use a loop to calculate the sum of numbers, find the average of a list of values, or generate a series of values based on a mathematical formula. Then we have a input validation. So loops can be used to repeatedly prompt a user for input until valid input is provided. So input validation is there. Loops can be used to repeatedly prompt a user if every time the user wants to give a new value, so there also it's useful the program receives the correct type of input from the user. Generating patterns. Loop can be used to generate the patterns of the sequence of characters, number, or symbols. For example, you can use a loop to print a triangle pattern, to print a square pattern, or to print a sequence of Fibonacci numbers. Processing files. Loop are commonly used to read and process the data from the files. So by iterating over the lines in a file, you can perform operations on each line or extract specific information from the file. So processing files is also important. By extracting each line or extract a specific information from the file, what we are using it to read and process the data from the files. If you want to read or process the data from the files, then for that also we are using loops. Handling tasks asynchronously. So in concurrent programming, loops can be used to handle multiple tasks concurrently. For example, you can use a loop to process multiple tasks in parallel. So for doing the multiple tasks in parallel, you can use a loop. For that also, we are handling tasks asynchronously, or that the loop for handling the task concurrently that you want to do. For that, you are using loops. Implementing algorithm. Loops are essential for implementing the algorithm, such as sorting algorithm, searching algorithm, or graph traversal algorithm. So implementing algorithm. So these algorithms often involve iterating over the data structure multiple times to perform a specific operation. So implementing algorithm means, tell me. Loops are essential for implementing algorithms such as sorting algorithm, searching algorithm, and graph traversal algorithm. Right? These algorithms often involve iterating over the data structure multiple times to perform specific operations. So implementing algorithm is also be sorting, searching, graph traversal. This is all algorithm can be easily be performed their task by using of loops. You can easily represent it there these algorithms by using of loops. So overall, loops are versatile construct. They are essential for automating the repetitive tasks, for processing the data efficiently, and implementing the algorithms in a programming very easily. So these are the use of loops. Is this clear to you? Able to input messages in group. Now your message has come, Sani. So leave it and join it again if this problem has occurred. Okay, now the type of loops we are having. So two types of loop we are having in the computer language. One is entry control loop. Second, we have a exit control loop. Okay. Yes. Mm. Yes. So one we have a entry control loop. Second we have a exit control loop. Entry control loop. The statement is written right. Statement right written right at the beginning of the loop. The control statement is written right at the beginning of the loop. This type of loop is also called pre-checking loop. What we said? Pre-checking loop. So the control statement is written right at the beginning of the loop. So this type of loop is also called a pre-checking loop. So the condition is in the control at first, and only if the condition are true, the body of loop is executed. If the condition turns out to be false, the line of code in the body of the loop will not be executed, right? So this type of loop is all called a also called a pre-checking loop. Yes, entry control loop is the control statement that is right at the beginning of the loop. So this type of loop is also called a pre-checking loop. The condition in the control statement are checked at the first, and then if the only if the condition are true, then the body of loop is executed. Means first condition is checked, then the body of loop is executed. If condition turns false, the line of code in the body of the loop will not be executed. So in most programming languages, entry control loops are implemented by using of a while loop structure. So while loop condition is placed in parentheses after the while. See here, int I is equal to 1. If I'm writing here I is equal to 1, then while I is less than equal to 5, right? So then we are printing the, like in this statement we are using in a Java for printing the output on the screen. Okay, I we have initialized with the 1. So first this line will be printed always. It will be printed when we will check the condition first. So if I is less than equal to 5, so this loop will go, कहाँ से कहाँ तक चलेगी ये loop? Tell me. It will go from 1 to 5, right? And then it will be printed the value of ln means the same we have. For the new output will be printed in the new line. So system.out.println, that we are writing this is the syntax of writing in Java. In Java, we are printing the value in this by this line. Like printf function we are using in C. Like cin, cout we are using in C++. Same we have this line, we are using it in the Java language. Okay. So we are printing it. Then every time the I value we need to be incremented. So I plus plus, in the place of I plus plus, you can write down in this way also. I is equal to I plus 1. So I plus you can write down in this way also, or in that way also. Both are same. Both are same. So in this example, the loop condition I less than equal to 5 is checked before entering the loop body. ये क्या थी आपकी loop की body? What is this? This is the loop body. If the condition is true, the loop body will execute it, which in this case prints the value of I and increment it by 1 using the I plus plus statement. The loop will continue to execute as long as the loop condition remains true. So loop will continue to execute as long as the loop condition remains true. Entry control loops are commonly used in the programming to iterate over the set of value or perform a set of operation until a certain condition is met. Right? So you need to perform a set of operation until a certain condition is met. As the condition is fulfilled, like I value will come to 5. So 5 is equal to 5. So when I value will be 6, so this condition will be false and the loop will come out of this body of the loop. Okay. This we call as a entry control loop. Entry means entry in the body of the loop. You will enter only entry पे ही control है, मतलब condition पे ही control है. We cannot enter in the body of the loop till the condition is true. So now takes an overview of the various loops. Now, first of all, let me explain this. I was explaining while loop, na. So I'm just reading this while and then do while so that you can easily differentiate it, because the question will come, what is the difference between while and do while loop? ये while loop though I'm just explaining you this is the entry control loop. So while loop is the control flow statement that allow a set of instruction to be executed repeatedly till the condition is true. So general syntax क्या है? While condition, in the braces we will write the block of code. The condition is an expression. The condition is an expression that is evaluated at the beginning of each iteration of the loop. Tell me. Yes, the condition is an expression that is evaluated at the beginning of each iteration of the loop. If the condition is true, the code block inside the loop is executed, right? The condition is an expression. This condition is an expression that is evaluated at the beginning of each iteration of the loop, right? So if the condition is true, the code block of the loop is executed. After the code block executes, the condition is evaluated again. It is true, the loop continue to execute it. The loop will continue to execute it until the condition values to false. The condition can be any expression that can be evaluated to be Boolean value true or false, such a comparison or a logical operator. They can you check it with the comparison or the logical operator. A function call that returns a Boolean value, like they are giving it the value true or false, or a variable that has been initialized to a Boolean value. Next we have a do while loop. So do while loop is a type of loop structure in programming that allows a block of code to be executed repeatedly until a specified condition is met. So this is a block of code to be executed repeatedly until a specific condition is met. So the main difference in the do while and the other loop is that while loop or a for loop is that the condition for the for loop is checked at the end of each iteration instead of at the beginning. So see, do then block of code will come, and after the once the block of code will be executed, then your while condition will be checked. In this syntax, the code block is executed first. उसमें क्या हो रहा था, पहले कंडीशन चेक हो रही थी, बट इन द डू वाइल केस what is checking it first? Your block of code. Once for the first time when we are checking the condition, before that we have to execute the block of code. Then the code condition is checked. If the condition is true, the loop will continue to execute the code block again. If the condition is false, the loop will exit and the execution will continue with the next statement following the loop. So here are the key components of a do while loop. Do keyword. So this keyword starts the with the do while loop. Block indicates the code to be executed at least once, regardless of a condition. Code block, this is the section of code that will be executed repeatedly until the condition is met. While keyword, this is the keyword is used to specify the condition that will be evaluated after each iteration of the loop. If the condition is true, the loop will continue to execute it. If the condition is true, then the loop will continue to execute. If it is false, the loop will exit. Condition. This is the expression that determines whether the loop will continue to execute or terminate. It must be a Boolean expression that evaluates to either true or false. Is this clear? So this is the expression that determines whether the loop will continue to execute or terminate. It must be a Boolean expression that evaluates to either true or false. Is this clear? You got the difference between while and do while loop? Those are listening to me. No one is listening? Okay. So it's very simple. See here, first condition is coming, then we have a block of code. In do while case, do block of code is coming first, and then we are checking the condition. So first time the loop of either condition is true or false, this code of block to be executed for the first time, okay, and for the second time if the condition is true, then this particular do block will execute it again. If the condition is false, then so it will not be executed for the second time. Okay, so this is the difference between the while and the do while loop. But it do while I've already explained to you. Do while में बेटा do then block of code is there. If this block of code is to be executed, either condition is true or false, doesn't matter. This block of code to be executed first time for the first time, okay, then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then again this do block will execute it till that condition is met. Okay, so for the first time we have not checked the condition. पहले तो हमने ब्लॉक ऑफ कोड एग्जीक्यूट कर ही दिया, उसके बाद कंडीशन चेक की है ना. पर एग्जीक्यूट में क्या हो रहा है, बट हम सॉरी वाइल लूप में क्या हो रहा है, वी आर चेकिंग द कंडीशन फर्स्ट. Here the block of code completely depend on the condition. First time also it will not be executed block of code because we are checking the first condition. तभी इसको हम बोलते हैं एंट्री कंट्रोल लूप, बिकॉज इन द एंट्री ओनली वी आर चेकिंग द कंडीशन, एंट्री कंट्रोल लूप. एंड दिस वी कॉल्ड एज अ exit control loop. At the time of exit of the loop, we are checking the condition. So this is a exit control loop. Now got the difference, everyone? Tell me, everyone. Khushbu, Sani, Bhumin. Very good. Thank you, Prince, for your valuable feedback. If condition is not matched, then do while will run at least one time. Yes. But in the while case, okay, women, But in the while case, it will be completely body of the loop will depend on the condition. Okay, Akash, thanks for your feedback. Now, after while, do while we have done, now come to the for loop. Now we are starting with the for loop. So this also I will read it later because I want to explain you this for loop first. Then I will give you the overview of various loops because then you are able to understand it. Okay. So I'm just giving you the introduction of for loop. So for loop is also a control structure that we are using in the programming to execute a block of code repeatedly number of times. It is a type of loop that is commonly used in many programming languages, right? In many programming languages, we are using it, including Python, C++, Java, JavaScript. The syntax for the for loop is for, bracket start, initialization, condition, increment decrement operator, then close. Then braces start, code of the block will be there, and then the braces close. So here is what we each part of the for loop syntax does. Is this clear? So initialization means this part of the loop is used to set the initial value of the loop variable. It is executed only once at the beginning of the loop. Okay. Condition, this is the Boolean expression that is evaluated at the beginning of each iteration of the loop. So if the condition is true, the loop continue executing it. If the condition is false, the loop terminates. Increment decrement. This part of the loop is used to update the value of the loop variable after each iteration of the loop. So this is typically done using the plus plus and minus minus operator. Code block. This is the block of code that is executed repeatedly for each iteration of the loop. Right? Like for loop we are using for printing the number 1 to 5. So for loop we have, this is initialization, int I is equal to 1. ये आपका initialization हो गया. Then semicolon will come because ये एक end of statement होगी ना हमारी. This is int I is equal to 1. Then I less than equal to 5. ये आपकी condition हो गई है. I plus plus ये आपके increment decrement हो गया. So this is all three things, all three different things we are doing it in a, we are writing it in a single line. Okay, then we are printing it the value of I. So in this example, the loop variable I is initialized to 1. So I value we have initialized with the 1. Then loop continues as long as the I is less than or equal to 5. After each the iteration of the loop, I is incremented by 1. Okay, the block of code within the loop simply prints the value of I to be the console. For loop are useful in situation where you need to perform a task a fixed number of times. So they can also be used to iterate over array. For array also we are using it, and for other collection of data also we are using the for loop. So here also we are printing the value of I, and those things in while or do while we are doing in a 2-3 lines. In for loop the all three things we are writing it or we are doing it in a single line. So this is a benefit of a for loop. So for initialization, declaration, increment, decrement, block of code. Yes. Declaration नहीं बेटा यहाँ condition will come. Condition for initialization, the condition and then increment, decrement. Very right, Khushbu. Very good. Yeah. Now come to the overview of various loops. So come to this for loop, a for loop that I know I already told you, a loop that runs off predetermined number of times. Okay, so loop use a counter variable. Here we are using the counter variable to keep track of the number of iterations and a set of condition to control the loop. For example, a for loop can be used to iterate over an array of values. Okay, and with the loop running once for each value in the array. So for the array of values also we are using the for loop. So this is the benefit or the use of a for loop, with the loop running once for each value in the array. For every value of the array, every individual value element of a array is to be executed by a loop. For every element we have to be execute the for loop again and again. So that will move up to predetermined. Predetermined मतलब आपने fix कर दिया ना I less than 5. So it will move up to 5 only. 5 times only it will be run. Okay, so this is a set of condition to control the loop. While is done. No, comes to the while loop. While loop is a loop that continues to repeat as long as the certain expression is true. The expression is evaluated before each iteration of the loop. This I have already explained. Expression यहाँ पे condition को बोल रहे बेटा वो. So condition is evaluated before each iteration of the loop. If it is true, the loop continues. While loop are often used when the number of iteration is not known in advance. When the number of iteration we are not knowing in advance, so there we are using the while loop. Do while loop is similar to the while loop, but the loop is executed at least once. In this, the loop is executed at least once. Condition is true or false, doesn't matter. Even if the expression is initially, condition पहली बारी में ही अगर आपकी condition जो है, expression means condition is initially false, still the loop is executed at least once. The loop continues to repeat as long as the expression is true, means the condition is true. Infinite loop. This repeats indefinitely because it has no terminating condition. This can happen when the exit condition is never met or the loop is instructed to start over from the beginning. While it is possible for the programmer to intentionally use a infinite loop, it is often a mistake made by a new programmer. Okay, so intentionally use an infinite loop. It is often a mistake made by a new programmer. So in the new programmer always forget to terminate the loop. They are giving a specific value. They forget to give a specific value so that the loop will get executed for that number of times. Next, we have a nested loop. Okay. Then we have a nested loop that appears inside any other for while or do while. So like in for while loop, we are using the for loop. Okay, like in the while. So like these nested loops are used when the programs needs to perform a set of instructions for every time in the collection and when multiple conditions need to be evaluated. Next, we have a go-to statement. A go-to statement can create a loop by jumping backward to a label. Although this is generally discouraged as a bad programming practice, I told you go to statement, that go to statement we are writing it with the label. So go to 10. So when we'll jump on the 10 number of statement, so then in between those statements are there, that will be skipped. That will be skipped. So this is a discouraged by a bad programming practice. For some complex code, it allows a jump to a common exit point that simplifies the code. This also we have done. Is this clear? These are clear? All overview of various loops are clear to everyone? Give me the feedback so that I'll move to the next slides. Hurry up, hurry up. Okay, woman. Thanks for your feedback. If you have any query in any loop, kindly ask me. Okay, very good, Spartha. Now, next loop we have a break statement. This basically statement we are using with the switch statement, but this we are using it separate also. For separate also we can use it, this break statement. So whenever the loop you want to terminate it prematurely, so for that we are using the break statement. So break statement is used to prematurely terminate the execution of the loop or a switch. Just now I told you we are using the break statement with the switch statement also. So when a break statement is encountered, it means the program to immediately exit the loop or switch statement and resume execution. And we can resume the execution at the next statement following the loop or the switch block. So after break statement, whosoever the statement is written, that statement will be executed as a next statement. The syntax of the break statement is simple. Break. It can be used inside a loop or a switch statement. If the system will shut down, I will join it again. So don't leave the class in between. Okay. The syntax of the break statement is simply a break. We will write down the break. So it can be used inside the loop or a switch statement. And its effect is to cause a immediate exit. If you want immediate exit from the block of code, you will write like this. So there's some example is there of a break statement that we will use it in different situation. Now terminate a loop early. If the loop condition has been satisfied and the before that loop natural termination, we want to loop exit early. So what we will write it Yes, sorry for the inconvenience, because the link that I was having, that was their audio and video is not working. So I've joined it again. I'm very, very sorry for the inconvenience, students. Now I'm going to share with you the that we were discussing the topic. So this was the topic. So I was explaining to you the break statement. So terminating a loop early means if the loop condition has been satisfied before the loop natural termination, a break statement can be used to exit the loop early. For loop, see, control structure we are using. So this is nested loop also. So we are using the if control statement inside the for loop. So for int I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So here I is equal to 5. So when the loop will execute it, they will print the value of I is equal to 5 or not. So as the value will not be there, then the break will come. The code here will execute until I is equal to 5. Right? So till that value is equal to I is equal to 5, then the loop will terminate early. Until I, yes. So so code here will execute until I is equal to 5. Whenever I value will not reach to the 5, then yes, then the loop will terminate early. So terminating a switch statement, in a switch statement also we can use the break statement, can be used to terminate the execution of the switch block when a desired case is matched. How we are writing it? Switch. अब switch statement के साथ कैसे हम break statement use करते हैं? This is the case when we are using with the loop. We have written a break here, right? This loop is executing every time I value will incremented. Okay, so for first it will not be break, then for the two it will check the two. So at the case of when 5 is equal to 5 is there, then only the break will execute it. Then the break statement will execute it. In the case, so code will execute it here till कब तक चलेगा ये 10, ये 9 तक तो नहीं चलेगा, इट विल नॉट एग्जीक्यूट. वैसे फॉर लूप विल गो 0 to 9, right? But when we are checking the condition here, it will, yes, for the first, this condition is false. 1 is not equal to 5. This is the symbol of equality. To checking the equal. This is checking a equal. This value is equal to this. So for first case, no. For second, no. 3, no. 4, no. When the 5, I value 5 will become there, then the 5 is equal to 5. Then the break statement will execute it. Okay, and the code will come out of the program, come out of the for loop. Why? Because it will go up to 9. Why after 5 it will come out? Because 5 into 5 hote hi, then we got a break statement. And break statement, what the break statement is doing, it will terminate the program prematurely, terminate the exit, or before early exit is there. So loop will not go up to 0 to 9. Is this clear? So now this is the case when we are using the break statement with the loop. Now here the break statement we are using the switch case. So switch expression condition ki jagah what we have written here, day. So case 1, printf Monday, then break will come. Case 2, printf Tuesday, break will come. Then default printf invalid day. So here we will check, if I put here Tuesday, then it will match with the first case. It will see it is Monday, so it will not be printed. Then it will come to the second case, Tuesday. Tuesday is matched with the switch expression. जो switch की bracket में जो हमने day लिखा है, if I have given input as a user, I have given input Tuesday. The first case it is not matched. For the second case it is matched. Okay, then break statement will come, and then after executing Tuesday, Tuesday will be printed in the output, and we got the break statement. Then the control will come out of the loop, or the control will come out of the switch statement automatically. So in this example, if the value of the variable day matches one of the case value, the corresponding statement will execute it, and then the break statement will cause the switch block to terminate. यही बताया मैंने आपको. If none of the case matches, if Monday भी नहीं match किया, Tuesday भी नहीं किया, I have given there Thursday, so no case is there for Thursday. then what will execute it? Then this default statement will execute it in the case when the no case will be matched with the switch expression. If none of the case matches, the default statement will execute and the switch block will terminate without a break statement. So without a break statement, your this statement, default statement will be printed, invalid day will come. Is this clear? Now next we have a continue statement. JavaScript. Um, might be you are using in the JavaScript. I have not done so much in the JavaScript beta. In Java, though you can use it, but I don't know about the scripting language. So might be we are using it, break statement. In HTML, though we are not using it. Now the next statement we have a continue statement. Then your exception handling will start it. So time is over. Sorry for the inconvenience that in between the 5 minutes that people have lost it just because of the system issue. So I think the most of the statements are clear to you, and this much is enough, I think so, right? So otherwise it will be complex in your mind that which statement is using for which purpose and what is the syntax and statement. Or shall I explain this continue statement? Tell me, you want to finish this last statement, or you want to wind up the topic just now? No feedback? Only Sani is raising the hand. What about others? If maximum will say, then only I will continue it. Otherwise, I'll take it in the next week. I'll consider this topic in the next week. No reply? Okay. Okay, you're okay with both. Okay, ma'am. Everything is clear, ma'am, in loops. Okay, okay. So you are not replying me in the case of that shall I continue or wind up for today? I'm asking this question. This much is enough for today, or you want to continue? Okay, this much is enough for Rahul. Okay. Others also give me the feedback. Okay, Bhumin. So how you are inputting this message? You're not able to input the message, then how you are printing this message in the group? So, okay, let me explain this last one also, then I'll wind up. So the continue statement in C program, because this is the last statement we have in the loops, then we have exception handling. Okay, so I want also to be completed this. Tanjil, you are right. I can continue with the continue statement. Yes, very right. So somewhat like the break statement, instead of forcing termination, so something we need. So early termination के लिए we have a break statement. Then for continue also we need some statement, right? So the continue forces the next iteration of the loop to take place, skipping any code in between. The syntax for the continue statement in C is as follows. How you will write simply continue, you need to write down. A continue statement can be represented in the form of flowchart. See here. Condition, if it is false, the control loop will come out. From the condition, the loop will come out, control will come out. If yes, if the condition is true, then block of code will execute. Okay, and if the continue is there, then after continue, then again it will check the condition. See here in the program, main function is there, then int I is equal to 0, while loop to print 1 to 8. We want to print the numbers 1 to 8. So we will, with the while loop, we are checking I is less than 8. Okay, so when I is equal to 4, the iteration will be skipped. Okay, 4 will not be printed. Okay, so I plus plus, always we are doing I plus plus and we are checking the condition I is less than 8. So the loop will go 0 to 8. Just tell me, 0 to 8 will go, right? As the 4 is equal to 4 will come. If the 4 will come, so we will skip the 4, then we will continue it with the for the 5, 6 and 7, right? So when the 4 I is equal to 4 जैसे ही होगा, the iteration will be skipped. This iteration only will be skipped for the 4 to 4. So it will print the it will print the number 1, 2, 3 and then 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it will not print the number 4. So when the that's why we have written when I is equal to 4, the iteration will be skipped and 4 will not be printed because we have put the continue here. Continue means skip this and then continue with the other numbers. Break में क्या आता था, जैसे ही वो equal हो जाता था, the control will come out. It will not print the rest of the numbers. For continue के केस में क्या है, this is only this number will be skipped, rest will be printed. So here we are printing it, the value of I, and then we are returning the statement because we are using the main function here. Output is clear of this? And got the difference between break and continue also? Question will come. Ma'am, you asked earlier we use break in this or not, right? Yeah, we use both break and continue statement. It will print till 8 because increment is before printing. It will print till 8. Yes, it will print. It will not print till 8 क्योंकि यहाँ is equal to का sign नहीं है. It will loop will go 0 to 7. It will print 0 to 7 but 4 number. So every time when the value of I print क्या कर रहे हैं हम result में, the value of I. तो ये कह रहा है कि if 4 is equal to 4, so simply 4 number will not be printed. 1, 2, 3, then directly we will move to the 5, 6, 7. Up to 7 it will be printed. पर ब्रेक की में क्या आ रहा था, जैसे ही ब्रेक आ रहा था, like 4 is equal to 4 हुआ, 5 is equal to 5 हुआ, break हुआ, then rest of the numbers will not be printed, loop will come out. हाँ, तो I plus plus before it, since we are incrementing I value here, then only अगर I की value increment होगी, then it only we will check with the if statement condition. ऐसा okay. Now any other doubts you have? Ma'am, if we break in the place of continue, then the output will be 1, 2, 3. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. You are right. Thank you, Rahul. Good night to you also, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care. Do the practice of all the loops. Try to make the programs and execute it in your C class. Okay. Then you will get all the answers. Those you have having a doubt in the programming, how to use in the loops in the programming. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Good night. And have dinner. Bye-bye.